What's up, internet? Welcome to Mo's Garage. In today's video, we are restoring the headlights on the Xterra and also upgrading the bulbs to LEDs. Alright everyone, so today we're going to be restoring the Xterra's headlights using this 3M Ultra Headlight Restoration Kit, and then we're going to be upgrading the LEDs to the Sylvania 9007 LED bulbs. Now as always, this is not a paid sponsorship or promotion of any kind. I did purchase these items with my own money after doing my own research. I just felt that these two products are going to give us the best results. Now I did want to mention that technically the previous owner of the Xterra did add in some LED lights. However, I recently realized that the Xterra's headlights are a bit strange. So this right here is my low beam, and as you can see, everything looks pretty good, nice illumination. But once you switch over to the high beams, this is where things are a little interesting. It doesn't seem to be brighter or higher, so I'm not sure what's going on here, but it seems like the high beams aren't working as they probably should. So here's another view from the inside of the car. Again, this is the low beam, and this is the high beam. So really, I'm looking to fix that issue with the low beam and the high beam, but then I also might as well restore the headlights while I'm at it so that we can get the maximum visibility and also so that it just simply looks good. So starting off with the headlight restoration kit, here's what you can expect from the 3M kit. So this thing comes with a little drill adapter, and then you also have 2 packs of clear coat. You have some tape, you have a glove, and then you also have the instructions. Now in order to make this kit work, you do need to supply your own drill, your own sprayer, and also a microfiber towel. Now according to the instructions, there are 6 of these 500 grit sandpapers. There are 4 800 grit sandpapers, and then there's 1 3000 grit sandpaper. You're going to be using 3 per headlight, 2 per headlight, and then you'll end up using this one on both of the headlights. So with that little overview out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. So the first step in restoring the headlights is to go ahead and tape off the edges. Alright, so once you have your headlight masked off, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and attach that attachment to your drill, and you want to go ahead and add a 500 grit sandpaper disc. Alright, from there we just want to go ahead and wet the headlight. You want to get this thing nice and soaked, and then you also want to add some water onto the sandpaper. Alright, so from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my drill set to the 2nd position, so that way you can have the max speed, and then I'm going to go ahead and start following the headlight in a horizontal pattern, and then I'm on a vertical pattern. And then periodically I'm going to go ahead and wipe down the headlight, add some more water, and try to keep this sandpaper clean. You can go ahead and switch to another one once this guy is pretty much dull. And so after each pass, you can see here that I'm just using the water, the spray bottle, to go ahead and remove all the plastic dust. Alright guys, so after a few passes, I'm just feeling the sandpaper and it's completely smooth. I'm going to go ahead and switch it out. Alright, so I just got a refill on the water, refill on the battery, and I'm actually done with the first step. All 3 of my 500 grit sandpapers are completely worn out. Check out all that milky residue that's just been coming off the headlight. Pretty cool. Alright, so now that I've used the 3 500 grit sandpapers, it's time to go ahead and move on to the 800 grit. Alright guys, so the last 800 grit sandpaper is completely done. So this is what the headlight looks like after the 800 grit. You can still see some of the marks from the sandpaper. You can see like a little bit of swirling and a little bit of up and down scratches. But overall, if you take a look at this guy, then take a look at this guy, there's a huge difference. So let's go ahead and finish up this one with the 3000 grit sandpaper, and then we'll go ahead and start adding the clear coat. Alright guys, so we're technically done with the 3000 grit sandpaper. So at this point, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and clean this off. You want to add that first wipe of clear coat. Now before we get started on adding the clear coat, the instructions do say to apply the first wipe to both headlights. So I'm going to go ahead and do the passenger side right now, and then once I'm done with that, we'll go ahead and apply the first wipe of clear coat to both of the headlights. Alright guys, so now I have both of the headlights restored, and the next step is to go ahead and clean off the headlight, remove the tape, and then we can start applying the clear coat. Alright, so once you have your headlights cleaned off and unmasked, You want to go ahead and put on your glove. Then we can take our first clear coat pad and apply it to the headlight. Now, according to the instructions, you do not want to unfold this, so just go ahead and apply it to the headlight and try not to get it on the paint or the plastics. Alright, so I've completed the first pass, and now as per the instructions, we're going to go ahead and let it sit for about 15 minutes before we go ahead and we apply the second coat. Alright everybody, so I've waited a little over 15 minutes, and now it's time to go ahead and apply the second coat using the second wipe. Alright guys, so the second coat has been completed. Now, according to the instructions, you do need to wait about an hour before you go ahead and expose this to any kind of rain. So right now it's just going to hang out here in the garage. But if you look at this driver's side one, it came out really good. And then over here on the passenger side, this one also came out really good. If we take a step back and we look at the two, you can tell that the passenger side came out a lot better. Although that headlight was replaced at one point by the previous owner. So if I could do this over again, I probably would have used 4 of those 500 grit discs on this headlight, and then I would have only have used 2 on the other one. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. So now while I wait for this to cure, let's go ahead and start replacing the headlight bulbs. Alright guys, so to remove this headlight right here, we have this little pigtail. Now normally the harness is right here, but since this is an aftermarket headlight, it has a little bit extra cord. And then right here we have this locking ring, which we also need to turn counterclockwise and remove. So let's go ahead and remove this headlight. Alright guys, so here we have the headlight that we removed. As you can see, it has an extra long cord. Now apparently this is a Dragon LED. I'm not sure, I've never heard of this brand, but let's go ahead and take a look at the new Sylvania one. So I actually haven't opened this yet. This is the first time I'm looking at it. Alright, so here's the Sylvania one. Pretty similar to the other one actually. Now when you install this, and I'm kind of wondering if this is what happened with the old one, you have to make sure that the LED lights are pointing side to side. And I'm actually wondering if the one that I had previously was mounted upside down, where it's up and down. Now the cool thing about this bulb, and I'm not sure if the other one has it, but this one you can actually turn. So that way you can ensure that it's always positioned up and down. But anyways, let's go ahead and install the new one. Alright, so let's go ahead and install our new bulb. Now, according to the instructions, what we got to do is we got to take off this little piece. Alright guys, so it looks like this thing is keyed. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and mount this to the headlight housing. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and retain it with this retaining clip. Might be a little bit difficult to see, but should be pretty straightforward. So right now I'm just spinning this thing around until it seats properly onto the headlight housing. And now that it's there, let's go ahead and retain it. Alright guys, so after a little bit of struggling, I finally got that inside piece, that little inside adapter piece, as well as the retaining clip on. So now let's go ahead and add in our LED bulb. Now as you can see, it's keyed. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to just get it in there, and then once it's on, we'll go ahead and align it so that the cord is at the bottom. Alright, so the LED bulb is in. Let's go ahead and turn it. And the LED cord is now facing the bottom, so let's go ahead and plug in the pigtail. Alright guys, so with the Sylvania bulb in there, I'm not sure how well you guys can see, but it looks like that thing is straight up and down. And now that I'm curious, I wonder if the other bulb was just misaligned. But no, it's not. It might be slightly off, but it is pointing up and down, so I don't think that was the issue. I'm glad I got these Sylvania bulbs. Alright, so for the passenger side light bulb, I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. It's essentially the same thing, but I got to remove the battery in order to get in here. So I'll catch up with you guys once I'm done. Alright guys, so both LEDs are done, and the headlights have now been sitting for about an hour. So now the last thing to do is to go out and do another nighttime driving test to see how these turned out. Now before we get out on the road, let's just take a second to appreciate how well these headlights turned out. So here's the before and here's the after. All right, let's get out there. All right guys, so I'm out and about, and you can immediately tell that there's a huge difference in the way the light is being thrown. You can see here that this is the low beam, and we have the light casted over by the intersection. And once we switch over to the high beams, you can see that the light is illuminating the signs up ahead, showing that the light is actually going up and out. Alright guys, so the Xterra's headlights have been restored, and I've replaced the LED bulbs to the new Sylvania ones. Now, truth be told, I don't necessarily know if the new bulbs did anything compared to the old ones. The old ones were working fine. They're a very similar design, but that's alright because I do have another vehicle with standard halogen bulbs that I can replace the old LED lights from the Xterra onto that vehicle. So either way, it's not a big deal for me. If I can find a link for the old ones, the Dragon LEDs, I'll probably put that down in the description, as well as everything else that I used in this video. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.